Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to another Starcraft 2 broadcast. My name is Anaris, and today we are here with a 1 versus 1 on the Steel Peaks of Metalopolis. We have LiquidHayprO spawning as the Red Zerg over in the 3 o'clock position. Look familiar? It should. We've had a game like this recently. And then over here as the Protoss in the 9 o'clock position, actually more like 8. We have ChiTaPrime. So a Protoss versus Zerg for you today, and they are in the farthest possible spawning positions. So we're probably going to have a very epic game here today. At least I am hoping so. This is from patch 1.3, or 1.1.3 rather. This game is actually from patch 1.3. It's from the future, so you're going to see Ultras are actually able to kill things and not die instantly to Marines. And no, but seriously, I am hoping this is going to be a fun game here. Now, do want to point out that he is sending his probe over here at around the 120 mark, just to keep an eye out and see if there's an Overlord over here coming by. That's about the time where you would see it coming to that point. As you see, actually, right there, it just reached that point and heading over on the opposite side of the map. ChiTaPrime throwing down his probe down here at the natural expansion. Not uncommon to see like a forge, a gateway, you know, a couple things like that around here. Get that early expansion. Pretty easy to defend that. It's already got the probe scouting out, heading over towards the 12 o'clock position. So while these players are starting to build, just a little bit of info about them. LiquidHayprO, who if you have seen on my channel, I do have a few videos of him. This guy is, he's just got some screaming good macro. You'll hopefully see this game. I'm hoping this will be a good example. Also, the game where he played against Slayer's Mills, 3-part series. I think it was. That was the game where he made like 30 drones at once. So that was a pretty darn epic series. And yes, I'm hoping that we're going to see a continuation of that here. ChiTaPrime, he actually has a blog called. You can actually find it at cheetah.kr. It's a pretty interesting stuff. He does a lot of strat talk and does some replays on there. Oh, looks like he... oh, that was a sexy move right there, ladies and gentlemen. What he did is he threw down that pylon. So remember, this is from patch 1.1.3, so you could block off the ramp right there with the 2 pylons. So what he did was he blocked it off, and then he built a third one, and then he used that third one to push his probe up the ramp so he can get vision while building these 2 cannons down here with the second probe. Got another photon cannon coming down here. This time the drones are getting a surround. Looks like, oh man, will you look at that escape using the oh man, that was just fantastic play. Cheetah, he is the master of the probe. I will just say that right now. So now Zerg, I would say he has a little bit of a problem, but, you know, it's funny. This photon cannon just barely is not built yet and will not have the vision of a completed photon cannon. There's the drones coming off to take care of it now, as the spine crawler is able to take out this one right here. And both of these photon cannons are firing at the spine crawler. Probe has come here at the last second, dropping down a pylon. Gonna try to keep vision here for as long as possible, although I don't know if this is really going to be effective here. We do have a probe heading down for Cheetah. Looks like he's just going to head back over and maybe try to continue this. I don't know. I can't really see this working at this point because there is a roach on the field. Spawning pool is intact. Spine crawler is intact. Pylon going to be going down by the Queen. And yeah, even pulled the drones off the gas just to make sure he can get some extra minerals for defense there. So that was that had the potential to be a very lousy attack, although I will have to say Cheetah's use of game mechanics there are pretty interesting stuff. I like that. If you go to anyways, I was talking earlier, if you go to his blog, he does a lot of kind of interesting quirky things where he tests out game mechanics and whatnot. I think one of the more recent ones was he did a rush to see just how quickly he can finish Warp Cake technology. I think his best was like 4 minutes and 56 seconds. So yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. Make sure you actually go check that out. I would definitely suggest it, especially if you can learn, if you know how to read Korean, which the blog is in Korean. However, there is an English translation for it. It uses the Google Translator thing, so you're going to see a lot of wonky text. But you know, you can get the gist of it. He also does type some posts in English. Alright, now back to the game here. LiquidHayprO with a couple roaches heading out towards the Protoss base. Do have a few cannons in place. Don't think, well, if he decides to come around here, it could pose a bit of a problem, but that's why Cheetah put this pylon down to keep the roaches from getting back into the rear of the mineral line without actually being fired upon by the cannons. And that's precisely why he dropped that one as well, just to make sure the roaches would go in here. They have found a little sweet spot, so we got another cannon. This one will be in the range of these roaches. However, this pylon might go down before then, allowing the roaches to come back here. Cheetah's going to respond by putting a probe right here, maybe drop another pylon. Yes, he will. Again, smart play right there by Cheetah. He did put a lot of money into that photon cannon harassment in the beginning, so a little bit behind onto the defenses, but he is making up for it in a big way. He's already got his expansion good to go. Zerg is responding by getting his own hatchery because, you know, he knows exactly what the Protoss is doing right now. He knows that he's not going to really be able to mount an actual attack down here, so he's pretty much just good to do whatever he wants to for the next couple minutes. We'll have to wait and see what Cheetah has planned. Right now he's got some probes transferring over to the gas, maybe looking to get that going pretty soon. Not capping these two, though. Still working on the minerals. It's a good idea there, since he really can't tech at this point because of the fact that the cybernetics core is not quite completed yet. Although, once that's finished, we can probably expect to see him lay down the infrastructure for some units fairly soon. He will be under a little bit of pressure here because the Zerg doesn't have an overlord over the main mineral line, so he kind of has an idea of what's going on. Don't want to let that hang out there for too long. So LiquidHayprO is still working on just macroing up. He's got a bunch of drones that just popped out right there. There's 4 of them. Got 5 more on the way, as he is getting his lair right now. Going to be going into a little bit higher tech for Zerg. Getting that second refinery there at the same time. I want to make sure you do go into Tier 2 able to actually produce the units that are available to you. That's one common mistake that I see in the newer players make, is they'll tech up as fast as possible. They'll get their, they'll get their hive, they'll get their greater spire, and then they'll make their one broodlord. Well, let me just tell you, that doesn't work. ChiTaPrime, way better than your average player, throwing down a whole bunch of structures right here, sitting pretty good on the economy. Take a look at that right now. You see he is actually keeping up with his opponent for the most part, for 49 to 51. And you see he is actually running on 4 gas right now, as opposed to Zerg 2, although we can see that it's going to change very quickly. Keeping up in the minerals a little bit, but not for long, though. You're going to see that gap widen as this expansion is saturated. As the game progresses, 5 more drones probably going to be heading out that way. Got an evolution chamber as well as a hydralisk den. Still remains to be seen exactly what ChiTaPrime will be doing. Right now he has thrown down 6 gateways. There is a 7th one up here. Warp gate technology just finished a second ago. Can probably expect to hear that that all too familiar sound of a gazillion warp gates or gateways turning into warp gates here. But for now, he is focusing on just pretty much exploring the majority of Protoss tech. We don't see a Twilight Council, but we do see Robotics Bay, Robotics Facility, and he is getting Weapons 1 on the way. So probably going to have a mixture of gateway units to support Colossi for the initial attack here. There's the Phoenix Scout. It's always a good thing to have against Zerg, as Zerg, he's just still macroing up, man. He is all about the income, even dropping a 4th hatchery down here at his 3rd base. We see it is looking really good on the drones right now. Look at that. He is really taking off 69 to 60. Protoss is going to have to get another expansion in order to keep up, which is exactly what he is doing right now. I don't believe he actually has an observer anywhere. No, it does not look like he has one currently. Zerg, you can see, has a lot of map vision right now, sitting a couple overlords in a position just outside of the Protoss base. One might actually just go in. That is a very common tactic for Zerg players, to just send an overlord in, damn the thing, who cares if it lives, find out some information for me. And that's pretty much what happened here. He saw the majority of the tech buildings and the production facilities, so that's pretty much all he needed to see. Was just right here, and yep, see right there, he got a good idea of what's going on. So now let's see what we've got here. Another expansion going down for LiquidHayprO. Like I said, man, this guy is the master at just expanding everywhere, man. When you watch him play, you feel like you're watching Zerg as how it was meant to be played. Doing a good job on the creep spread, dropping hatcheries everywhere. Looking to be putting some pressure over here on the Protoss expansion. Base number 3 will be coming under attack fairly soon. Have a couple photon cannons warping in here. No units to speak of, just one probe. However, there are a bunch of Protoss units down here as the Zerg does take out cannon number 1, cabin number 2, and I still don't know what cabin number 3 is, but apparently there was a cabin there. Zerg forces are going to be dropping very quickly now that Protoss has had a chance to respond. Even dropping some force fields. I think he had a couple extras in there, but that is all right. So this expansion is indeed safe. LiquidHayprO saturating the expansions that aren't even up yet. I always do enjoy watching him play. Like I said, this is not the first game or even the second game that I've cast from him. And I think actually the first game I ever cast with him was a few months ago, and he has really taken off as a player, I have to say. I mean, he was good beforehand, but he has really done a fine job progressing his skills here. Uh-oh, Protoss moving a little bit out of position from his Colossi, taking some heat from the Roaches. Lost a couple Stalkers there. Never a good thing, especially since they do not have Blink currently. Templar Archives is going down. That will help out with the masses of Zerg that we are seeing here today, even though they are Roaches. So nice force fields going down, forcing the Zerg to retreat. He won't be able to get in there and mount a successful attack against the Colossi from that direction. He has gone the far way around, though. This Colossus might actually go down, but no, it is blocked off by the Stalkers. Some good micro from ChiTaPrime there. Roaches are going down at a decent speed, although these two Colossi are focusing on the Roaches way over here at the end. That's the thing, man. Roaches can take a good number of hits from the Colossus. Roaches entirely bypassing the Stalkers and taking down the first Colossus right there. Second one is in danger of dying. It's running out of places to go. Is it going to jump off the cliff? No! Well, it looks like a little part of it did. It's okay, though, because the Stalkers are now being flanked by even more Roaches who are currently upgraded 1 and 1 compared to the Stalker, just a 1 weapons upgrade. Weapons 2 is on the way, however. It's got Psystorm coming down the line. That's being chrono boosted out, as we just saw a moment ago. And now here is where we are going to see, once this expansion is saturated, which, look at that, man, 94 hit points. That is really freaking close. You are going to see LiquidHayprO produce an endless quantity of Zerg units that can